doing this, we're going to make it editable, is so that I could literally just tell it to populate to all of these, which will be a much easier thing to deal with. In a generic system. Sorry, I want to... come on. Why are you not selecting? Reroute. I hate that I have to do all of this again. It sucks so bad. And it's so boring. And I know you guys are probably like, Jesus Christ, why is this guy doing this stuff again? Yeah, it is, but I like... it's just my way. I've always been a very... like, I do everything kind of the hard way. I'll be honest. We take this, collapse the function. This function, is there a way to rename it? Rename set base stats. Boom. So what I did there, for those of you who don't know, is I took all of the stats, set them to a single value, which is going to be base stats, and then I collapsed that to a function, which shows up in our function list here. So now, if we ever need it, we can just drag it out, and it'll give us the same information. You can double click, and you can see everything that's in it. It's a good way to keep yourself organized, and not have to explain 10 million things when you do it. Very useful, honestly. Okay, that's that. So there we go. We're going to set the base stats to 20. There we go. Strength up. Fin up. Stick with the same naming conventions. I don't like not using the same naming conventions. Custom event is con underscore up. Int underscore up. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I am actually setting up the basis for our stats, where we actually can go in and it will increase or decrease based on what we need. Up. And of course, the great thing about this is it'll be very customizable. So like if someone doesn't like the naming conventions I've used, fucking change it. I don't care. Actually, I'm going to come in here. No, I want to remain with base stats in there. And then we'll go exp, set exp to 0. Then we'll set level. I guess these I could do in the custom event, or in here. Set exp to 0. Set default value to 1. That'll be easier. That's everything. Hit points. The reason I'm not setting hit points next is because that's actually going to be in part based on our constitution. So let's see. Do another one, stat pool. then stat pool will set at, let's see, 150 or need divided by, where are you? There you are. 25. Okay, that's what I thought. Just brain dead, so I wanted to make sure. Which would give us up to 50 in each, which is a little high. I want to make sure. Let's go with 100. We'll give them 100 stat points to start off with, and that will be editable as well. So every time this is fired, we'll go branch. If strength is less than 100, if true, we set strength I can just do that. It'll be easier. If this is working, I remember there used to be a bug with this one in particular. Looks like it should be fine. And I think it did get fixed, so. And then minus minus. No, not decrement float. I need decrement int. There. So now it should be every time we do strength up, it should check to make sure this is all true. If it is less than 100, it will increment up. Just to test. Run strength up. Print string. This is honestly, in my opinion, the easiest way to test things. Is just to go in and be like, hey, what is this value now? Without having to keep the window open and be like, watch this value do all these things. Oh, right, I need to kind of set. So third person game mode, which is not important. Player controller is RPG controller. Save that. There we go. So we could literally go up to 100. And it won't go any further. Doop. Okay, so that's cool. And this will, we'll just use these numbers for now to test. Eventually I'm going to replace it with that, I had a UMG system set up for all this that you could actually use, but it wasn't very pretty. And I need to actually recreate everything, so that'll be fun. Fin up. Con up. Int. Wisdom, and of course charm. Okay, so that'll be a simple way for us to test that these stats are going up, and allow us to test some of the other stuff as well. Boom. There we go. And now the easiest part. Because it's set up like this right now, we can literally just copy paste in these locations and fill in the appropriate data. Okay, come on. There we go. Now there is a problem with the setup that we have right now that we can fix very quickly with one more branch. Because right now we have no check to make sure that we don't run out of stat points. That's a very simple thing to fix once we get everything set up. And of course, there are probably also easier ways to do things like this. I will never claim that my way is the absolute right way, or that there isn't something more efficient or smarter to do. This is just my way of doing things. Because to me, to claim that someone has the absolute best way to do something is kind of just a show of arrogance. It's, you know, there's many ways to do the same thing, and it's the same thing with coding. In fact, let me increase the size here. Move this way up. Okay, so I actually need to put this branch before anything else. If stat pool is less than 1. The plus plus and minus minus nodes are, it's actually a very awesome macro that was created. It's the same thing as a plus plus in C++. So what it does is it just gives, it increments by 1 or decrements by 1 based on what you're doing. Guess I should have said that beforehand. Excuse me for that. And actually, if you look here, this is something really cool. So if you look at this little node here, the diamond is different than the circle. What that diamond means is it's a pass-by reference. So strength goes in, and then it sends whatever happens in here back to the same value. So you don't have to have like it going in all kinds of different crazy ways. This is literally just going, okay, you've got strength, we're going to add 1 and then pass it back to you. So it takes care of it for you. It's not useful everywhere. I believe there's a lot of cases where you can't use it, especially when doing things, I think, between blueprints. I could be wrong on that. But if I remember correctly, you can't use pass by reference between blueprints. It has to be done within the blueprint, and then that value passed out to another blueprint. But again, could be wrong. Okay. And I will also tell you now, just in case you guys came in expecting C++, I am not a C++ savvy person in the least. I couldn't tell you jack about C++, so if you were looking for that, I'm sorry. I am solely a blueprints person when it comes to coding, more design oriented than programmatically minded.